Thank you so much for staying with us. Time now for our Beyond the Scars conversation. And my guest, Ruth Wanjiku, is already with me. But before I get to her, continue sending in your feedback at KTA News KE, at Grace Korea KE. You can also call in live after we take a break, just to send in your contribution to the conversation that we are having today. So Ruth Wanjiku, karibu sana. Thank you so much for coming to our studios today.
Thank you so much.
Sijui tuanze wapi, lakini I want us to start with just you growing up. Just paint a picture for us of how life was growing up, at least before the diagnosis, the bone cancer diagnosis.
Yeah, so I'm Ruth Wanjiku. I'm from Watondo. I got diagnosed with cancer when I was 17 years. It just started as a pimple. It was not paining, it was just a pimple. So I went to hospital. Okay, I stayed because, it was not paining, it was just there like a normal pimple. Then it started growing, so I went to hospital. When I went to hospital, I got my first biopsy. I did my first biopsy. That was in 2014. It was not taken to laboratory. So I had to wait to raise another money to do the second biopsy. So I did my second biopsy on 2015. 2015 on February. I did on January. I did 28. Then the results came out on February. And I was diagnosed with osteosarcoma. Back then I didn't know what was cancer at all. So I stayed 2 weeks getting solution how to cure the cancer or what I should do about cancer, because I didn't know what was cancer. After that, after 2 weeks, a doctor told me that I had to get amputated. So I didn't know what to do. I had 2 doctors. One told me that you're gonna be amputated. The other one told me, you know what, you're gonna remove the tumor, and immediately you remove the tumor, you do radiotherapy. I didn't know what was radiotherapy, or I didn't know what was cancer. I was just there. So I did, okay, because the doctor who told me about the tumor removal was not a superintendent. So I went on with the superintendent's advice that I should get amputated. Yeah. So because that was my my final word, that I should get amputated if it for my goodness, and if it will help me, maybe cancer will not spread or such things. So I got amputated back on 2015, date 18 March. Yeah, it was 17 years. After I got amputated, the doctor didn't tell me maybe to go for chemotherapy or radiotherapy or anything. I was just amputated. I didn't have enough money. That's why I went to that hospital, because it was just a local hospital. The doctor who was treating me was not oncology. And he was doing it for my own good, and he just wanted to help me out. But I was not supposed to be amputated.
You were not supposed to be amputated?
Yeah.
And this happened when you were 17?
Yes, when I was 17 years.
Okay. Let me take you back a little. We'll be coming back to this, to when you were amputated in 2015?
Yes, March.
Okay. So, at this pimple, where was it?
It was just below the knee.
What part of your body?
Below the knee.
Below the knee?
Yeah.
So you just see it as a pimple?
It was just a pimple, but it started
off.
growing. Yeah, it started growing, and after the first biopsy, when you touch cancer, it starts growing so fast. So it started growing, and you see, I stayed, my first biopsy I did on August 2014. From August till December, I was not going to hospital. I went back to hospital. I didn't have money, and I had wasted already 15,000 on biopsy. I didn't have any other money, so I stayed at home. And after I did the biopsy, I was given the specimen to go with it at home. The doctor even didn't tell me maybe you should do this with this specimen, or you should do this, or whatever. So I lost hope, because my 15,000 is gone. I don't have money. So I said, because this thing is not aching, I will not go back to hospital. But my granny insisted that I should go back to the hospital. And I went back to hospital on November. Then I was booked in on December. After I went on December, the doctor told me that all the doctors are on Christmas leave. It was maybe 8th. And he told me, you cannot get a biopsy done right now. All the doctors are on Christmas leave, holiday, you see. So you have to come back. You see the tumor is still growing. So he told me you have to come back on 2015 January date 26. Yes, that's when I went back to hospital. I did my second biopsy and that was it. So after I got amputated, I went home with my painkillers. You see, I didn't go for
With your
painkillers.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't go for, okay. The doctor didn't tell me like, you see, you have to go, maybe you have to go for chemotherapy or those things. I stayed at home for a few days. Then I came back to Nairobi. I stayed with, you see, with stigma. You have to start a new life, don't have a leg, you have to start afresh. Everything you have to start afresh. You have to get new friends, you have to get everything new. And stigma that time was so high, but all I told God was, God, please close my ears and close my eyes. I don't want to hear any negative word from anyone. So just close my ears and close my eyes. I just want to be me and help me achieve whatever I want in life. So life was not easy until back on 2017. So I was doing a birthday, and you know, ile kumwagiliwa maji, I felt some pain on my chest. And immediately I went back to the hospital where I got amputated. After I went to hospital, the doctor told me that I had pneumonia. But the pain was too much, and I insisted. I told the doctor, this is not pneumonia, or if it's pneumonia, can I get an X-ray done? Then you'll tell me that this is pneumonia. And the doctor told me, you see, you'll not get an X-ray. But I insisted. I told him, if you don't give me an X-ray, request, I'm gonna go to the office of the superintendent and I will tell him. But the doctor gave me that slip for the X-ray. I went and did my X-ray. There was nobody to tell me what X-ray meant at that time, so I had to wait for 2 days to get the person who can read the X-ray and tell us what it means. But he had given me some meds for pneumonia. So I took them home and I took them for 2 days. Then I went back to get my results of the X-ray. I was told that I had a mass, but they didn't tell me this is mass, you should do this, you should do that, or whatever. They just told me you have a mass. Then I went home. After like 3 days, I said, what will I do with this mass? I think I should go maybe to Aga Khan or somewhere else and know what this mass is. So I went to Aga Khan Hospital, and that's when I was told to do another X-ray. I did another X-ray, and I was referred to a chest specialist. The chest specialist told me to do CT scan. I did a CT scan, and I was told that I have a mass, but they must know what if it's cancerous or whatever. Maybe it's TB or cancer or whatever. So I did another biopsy on my chest. I did a CT biopsy. After I did a CT biopsy, the doctor told me that after a few days, I went back for the results, and he told me that the mass on my chest was cancerous. He told me that it was cancerous, but that's when I knew what cancer was, because you see, it was just on my lung, my right lung. So it was not easy at all. You see, the cancer is back, and it's back like, I don't know how to explain. You see, it's on on lung, you don't know whether you're going to survive this or not. So the doctor told me that you have to, because this mass, it's big. So I want you to go and see an oncologist. I went ahead, just in the same hospital. I saw the oncologist, and he told me that I have to start a chemotherapy.
Chemotherapy?
As soon as possible. You see, after I got amputated, I was not told to go for chemotherapy, so the cancer spreaded. You see, I did my chemotherapy, but it didn't help at all, because I went for my 12 sessions, but it didn't help at all. Because the tumor didn't shrink at all. It even became more big, because when you touch cancer, you see I did the biopsy, it started growing so fast. So I stayed, I did my chemotherapy, 12 sessions, and when the doctor saw that it was not shrinking, he told me to go for an emergency operation before it spread to the other lung. I went for operation, which was a bit expensive, because before you go in for admission, you have to pay 150,000. So, and it's an emergency operation, so you have to do it as in ASAP.
Yes.
Yeah. So I did the lobectomy. Then they removed the lung. Yeah, they removed the lung.
Oh.
Yeah, and I stayed in ICU for a few days then, because I was weak. You see, after the chemotherapy, I had lost my hair, had lost my weight, everything. I was not eating. I was 38 kgs.
How many kgs?
That 8.
38.
Yes.
Oh.
And the doctor had told me that, you know what, you have only 25 days to live, because this thing has spreaded to the heart. You see? But that was not on my mind, so I didn't believe what doctor said. So I stayed in ICU for a few days. Then I went home. I went to the ward and I went home. Then I continued with my chemotherapy. But at the time I said I don't want chemotherapy anymore, because it was really harsh on me. Yeah. And I didn't go further with my chemotherapy, because it was really hard and it was harsh. Like, you know, I was losing like everything, my nails, the tongue, everything. And my life was falling apart because of chemotherapy. And, you know, I said, if this thing is the one which will kill me, and I am not ready to die, I'm not going to do it anymore. So I stopped. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Ruth, we'll be getting to all that, but I also need you to help our viewers understand where you're coming from, because I started by asking about your background. I want you to tell us how you were raised, in what kind of a family, as a breadwinner, your background, Ruth.
Yeah. Okay. In my family, we are born 6. I'm the firstborn, and we are from a very, very humble background. I'm raised by my granny, but my mom was also around. But at that time, we were staying with my granny. So my grandmother, people may say maybe cancer is caused by whatever you are eating, lifestyle, yeah.
Yes.
But me personally, from my background, we used to eat like, you see, like everything was carbohydrates, because we could not even afford maybe nyama. We could not even afford, sometimes we could not even afford milk. You see, so we were just eating maybe potatoes and sweet potatoes, things like that, maize, beans, you see, things like that. But people may say like, you see, cancer is caused by lifestyle, cancer is caused by this, cancer is caused by this. But for me, I don't think cancer is caused by lifestyle.
There's also the genetic aspect. Is there a history in your family?
No. I'm the only one.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm the only one. And, you know, mostly you don't know what causes cancer.
Yeah.
my granny used to tell me like, don't worry because you're gonna fight this. But when I went for my lung removal, I didn't tell her because last time when I told her that I'll be amputated, she got so sick, and you know how much she loved me. I was the firstborn of her first daughter.
Yes.
She was so depressed. Yeah, I'm from a very, very humble background. Yeah, and right now I'm with my siblings. I stay with them in Nairobi, and I'm the breadwinner to them. Sure.
Ruth, if I may ask, and pardon me for asking, why were you living with your granny?
Okay, tunasemanga in families there is, mambo tu inakuja kwa familia, and my mom got married. Yeah, he left me with my brother in our granny's home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Ruth. So, again, if I could take you back to 17, and you're diagnosed with cancer, bone cancer, and at that age you tell us you don't even know what cancer is, you don't even know what radiotherapy is. As a 17-year-old, a teenager, what is going through your mind upon this diagnosis?
In fact, I don't know what was wrong with me because I was not thinking anything about cancer. I was not thinking anything about cancer. And just the other day, back on 2017, that's when I came to realize that osteosarcoma affects teenagers. Yeah, because most people who have osteosarcomas, most of them are teenagers. They're between maybe 10 years to maybe 25. Whom I have met, it's between 10 and 25 years. Back then, you see, I don't know because I was not seeing any big deal like if I get amputated, I'll be maybe disabled. It's like I was not thinking well. Yeah, and you see, the way doctor put it, it was like, you're just gonna be amputated and that's all. You see?
That's it, that will end everything.
Yes. I think that is what carried me, and if I'm gonna be after the amputation, well and good. Yeah.
When did it hit you hard, Ruth?
After I got amputated, now the stigma. You see, I have to deal with all kind of people in my life. I have to deal with all stigma. I have to deal with like everything. And maybe when I want to carry something, I can't carry this thing. Sometimes I forgot that I don't have a leg and I start walking like, and I fall. So things like that. And when I got lung cancer, that's when I said, no, this is the end of me. Yeah, and when it spread to the heart, yeah, I said like, God, this is the end of me. Yeah, I was crying like every day. Day by day I was just crying, yeah.
Ruth, where do you draw your strength? Because from yesterday when we started talking, Ruth, you're this bubbly lady. I can tell you're in your early 20s, right?
Yeah.
Because you were 17 in 2015, right?
Yeah.
You're smiling even.
23.
You just turned
23.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're young. You're young, Ruth. You're just smiling even throughout this interview. Where do you get this strength from? You know, most of the people, if they were in your position, they would be, having self-pity, But where do you get all this strength from?
Let me tell you one thing, Grace. You see, in life, you have to first love yourself. Like, you really have to love yourself. Like, love, not just love. You have to love yourself. Then the second thing, you have to live for something. You see, like me right now, I live for my siblings because they need me. And that's why I put this face, as in this smile on my face every time, because even if deep in my heart I have like something disturbing me, I have to smile so that they can see me smiling. Because if they see me like I'm sad, maybe they see me crying all the time, that thing will affect them. Another thing is, there is someone who is newly diagnosed with cancer, and anione kwa TV, only like she's sad, you see. Maybe I'll be like her. Even God himself can punish me because naonyesha watu wengine, it's like he's not there. And I always smile because I know I have someone to fight for my battles. That is Lord Jesus. And I always smile because I know with Lord Jesus, I have everything in my life. Yeah.
Wow, I love that. I love your positive spirit, Ruth. Take us through your treatment journey. I know you mentioned, for instance, chemotherapy and how brutal it was to you. You mentioned about your nails falling off, your hair, the tongue. But actually, before we even get to the treatment journey, you're still young. I can't emphasize that enough, Ruth. So when all these changes are happening in your body, I mean, at 17, at 18, 19, 20, we're at, we're getting to our prime, and these changes are happening in your body. What is it doing to you when your hair is falling off, when your nails are falling off, Ruth?
Yeah, you see, I had people who truly loved me. Even if I didn't have hair, they just coming, going with me everywhere. But you see, at some point, when maybe you have something like you don't have hair and you had just lost weight, yani umepalala, people, maybe people who are with you or people who you spend most of your time with, may not give you that love, you see. But Mimi, I think I'm lucky because the society accepted me. So, okay, yes, deep in my heart, because lazima upatane na vitu in this life. Lazima si kila mahali unaenda kukua straight, lazima upate mlima. Yes, deep in my heart, I was like sad. I don't have hair. My nails are black. My tongue is black. I don't have weight. I cannot walk for long. I cannot stand for long. I was always vomiting. You see, but people who were with me at that time, they were so good at me. They loved me so much. You see, as in, that is okay. Me personally, I don't know venye akili yangu yukuwa, because mi sijaichukua kitu in a negative way. I just take everything in a positive way. And whenever I am down, I just pray and tell God, God, please nisaidie tu nipite hapa. And when I want to talk, I just talk. Even if you don't want to talk to me like now, I will talk to you and I'll make sure you talk to me. Ndio hiyo kitu initoke. So I think I'm that kind of a person. Like I talk everything. I don't hold anything in my heart. Like hata sai tukikosa na Grace, I don't hold anything in my heart. I just let it go. I'll get angry at you, but within the next 5 minutes, I'll be good because I'll talk to you. I'll tell you what is disturbing me. You see, that is me. Mimi, as in hakuna kitu nilisumbua in my life because I talk it out. Yeah.
Okay. Before we take a break, just take us through the treatment journey.
Sweetie, the treatment was not easy. First with money, second thing with effects. Coming on the issue of money, you see, a poor Kenyan, like, okay, let's just, mtu mwenye hana do in this Kenya, it's not easy to get the best treatment. You see, kuna mtu wa mama boga pale, he or she cannot afford maybe to go to Aga Khan, yeye anaenda tu Kenyatta. And at Kenyatta unapata there is a very long queue that you have to wait for hours. But ungekuwa na hizo pesa uende maybe somewhere else, it could have been easy. You see, on the issue of money, okay, mostly mimi nilikuwa na support friends and NHIF. But at a certain point unapata you have to do maybe blood test and x-rays. Unapata huna hiyo pesa because NHI haitakulipia blood test, NHIF haitakulipia x-rays. So it was not easy at all, sweetie. It was not easy. Sometimes you don't get the doctor that you want. Maybe mwenye unapata hamsikizani. You see, maybe anakuambia kitu yenye hata yeye mwenyewe unafeel hayuko poa nayo. Hiyo pia inafanya treatment inakuwa very hard. To an extent, kuna mtu hata ji-accept after maybe umekuja umepata daktari fulani na hamjasikizana. So unapata hiyo kitu bado inakuwa ngumu. Then about getting chemotherapy. Chemotherapy, me, I was getting my chemotherapy 24 hours. Unapata with the effects of chemotherapy, inakufanya ukue very down kabisa. Yeah.
Okay. You mentioned, Ruth, that you later learned that the amputation was not necessary.
Yes. After I got, okay, you see, with the pain on my heart, on my chest, I took all my let's say documents like X-ray, nini, all those things that I had done before amputation. I took them to the doctor who was treating me the lung cancer, and he told me, you know what, was your leg functioning? I told him yes. I'm the one who took myself to theater. I was not even limping.
You walked to theater?
Yes. I was not limping. Can you imagine? And they still amputated me. And he told me, with these x-rays, you are not supposed to be amputated. I was not supposed to. And that makes me think, like, just the other day, a friend of mine, he had osteosarcoma on the head, the shoulder, and one of the doctors suggested and said it was a must he get his head amputated. Another doctor came, and the head was still functioning well. Another doctor came and said, you know what, you'll not be amputated. You'll get the tumor out and do chemotherapy, radiotherapy, all those things. And you know that boy right now, he's still having his head. If the mother concentrated with the doctor who said that he should be amputated, maybe that boy angeruhusu mkono yake just hakuwa anafaa kulose, angeruhusu na hakuwa anafaa kuilose. You see, things like that. So if I had money, or if I had that brain, you know, I was still a kid, like I had to niende nitafute a second opinion, or if I had money, ningeenda nitafute daktari mwingine. You see, my leg was not supposed to be cut.
Yeah, your positive spirit is everything, Ruth. But now you're telling us the amputation was not necessary. When you found out, and the damage has already been done, the leg has already been cut, how does that make you feel?
Very bad. Sometimes it makes me feel so bad because there is some things that I really want to do, but I can't do without a leg. You see, it makes me feel so bad. But me, I already forgive the doctor because he was doing for my own good. I already forgive him. Yeah.
Okay, Ruth. We need to take a break, but we'll be back with more after the break, because I now want you to share what you've been up to, what you're doing right now, and more of this positive spirit, Ruth, because we need it. So a lot of feedback coming in. Frank Orinda is saying, hey, pass my greetings to Ruth. I'm touched by her story. I also lost a hand in an accident, and I really feel her when she talks about stigma. I face it daily. I'd love to meet her and give her a little support. At the end of the interview, Ruth, you'll be sharing your contacts with us, or how people can reach to you via social media or anything, right?
It's okay.
Okay. So keep your feedback coming at Grace Korea KE, at KTN News KE. We're taking a short commercial break, but we'll be back.